Going in just a second. As you guys know, Beth's out for the week, so obviously we're starting just a little bit later in the day until she's back. But I'm just gonna prepare the stuff. CPI is coming out in about 6 minutes here, so we'll watch for that. I'm gonna throw the SPY up. What's already up, and throw VXX up right here as well. Yeah, we'll go from there. I'll be off mic till then, and then we'll go through everything as we typically do. Just gonna prepare everything as I do. One sec, guys. Hey guys, we got about 1 minute here, 40 seconds. The CPI. All right, let's see if we can break this 413 here. 430, I should say. 412.30. Point 4 forecast 0.4, previous 0.4. Core year over year 5.5. Line. Post it in chat for you guys. So next resistance on the SPY guys right now. We got room back towards this recent range high. A little bit of resistance 413.48. Actually, sorry, 413.75. There. I can kind of finish these pre-market notes. Just because obviously everything kind of changes, and whether it's gapping up, gapping down, right? Market related at least. Anything on earnings is going to stay the same. All right. Pretty much done here, my friends. Big banks are moving. Okay. See if this move can hold up or not. Alrighty. I think we can kind of start ripping through the charts, guys. So if you guys are new to chat and haven't done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You pop into chat, it's going to look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you do pop in, guys, click on that disclaimer section, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section, scroll to the very, very top. Top of that section, you see a link to the disclaimer as well, that bolded risk reward section. In regards to risk reward, guys, most important ratio in trading, definitely worth going through. If you do go through that section, you got links to a whole bunch of different things. like the risk reward calculator, the risk reward profiles. There's a whole bunch there that potentially something could fit you in your account, which definitely would think it makes sense to go through that, as well as risk reward videos explaining how it works. So, worth going through that before you do anything, in my opinion. But of course, it is completely up to you if you want to apply it. Mathematically, it's hard to be profitable over the course of time if you don't apply it. So it is definitely worth a look, in my opinion, there. All right, so continue to scroll down to that new to chat information section. You have summary of how this chat works, breaks all these channels work on the left-hand side here, so you can properly navigate the chat throughout the day. That's important to know where to be looking. Continue to scroll down. We have the how to read alerts on the options and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Pretty straightforward in that regard. Below that, we have the options rules that we like to use Monday to Thursday in regards to controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts. SPX rules below that in regards to the SPX ideas I'm looking at all day long. Any of the small account less than 10K. Now, this is just my opinion, guys, but if you do have a smaller account less than 10K, here's some rules, information, discipline you can put in place that could potentially help you. And then lastly, how to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective. So that is that. Let's take a look. Oh, and then the high conviction small account trade ideas, which I've been doing every single day, credit spread ideas, because they have a really high probability of working. And I do them all the time in, this little account that I have on the side here to generate, some additional income. So I think it's worth definitely checking out if that's something you want to do. Anyways, let's take a look at what we got going on today, guys. A couple different things. Let me just pop this one thing up here on the side for myself. There we go. Okay, so a couple different things that we're looking at today, guys. Obviously, CPI just came out. Nice little positive push here for now. We'll see what happens, obviously, going into the market open. 413.75 is the next resistance on the SPY at the moment. Tesla gapping up and simply the market. Airbnb gapping down on worse than expected earnings. Twilio down on worse than expected earnings. Rita gapping down on earnings. CELH gapping up on earnings, and UPSE gapping up on earnings. And the big reason was the $2 billion capital commitment secured over the next 12 months. So those liquidity issues they had before are pretty much gone, which obviously is a big deal. All right, let's take a look at, like I said, what we have going on today. A couple different things. So let's pop this up. So I'm just going to move this, guys. Oh. Move this one here. We'll get right into it. Oh, that's what I'm going to do. Pop up my other platform. It's always close at the exact same amount of time every day. Okay. Give me 1 second here, my friends. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I got a different mic today, so hopefully it sounds good. Might sound the same. Don't know. So far, so good on the SPY. Doing a pretty damn good job of holding up. It's shaped for some reason. All right, let's do it. So first two we're looking at today, guys, gonna be that Tesla and Airbnb. let's take a look at that Tesla, guys. Get that 50 May labeled, a couple different resistance levels right here. All right, there we go, perfect. I'll get that one right there as well. Pivot to the upside today, 168.01. Levels able to hold 172.30, 175.98. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards 164.10 and 159.37 on the downside there. Going to be leaning bullish neutral if that pivot point can hold. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Out the gate today. Let's take a look at that Airbnb. So decent move to the downside after those earnings, but I think it's still within the range. It is just barely, actually. Okay, let's take a look here. So Airbnb gapping down just at that bottom end range. I'm actually going to get rid of the 107 level and just hold the 106 because that's the bottom end anyways. It's super close. So 106.51 pivot to the downside today. Levels unable to hold. We got room for continuation towards 103.80. 111 able to hold. 111.46 to 115.43. I'm actually going to be leaning more on the bullish neutral side. I want to see a little bit more of a pull, and then I can look for that bottom and basing to potentially grab long. So that is Airbnb. That is Tesla. All right, let's take a screenshot of both. Let's move on to the next. So that's good. Okay, good. Next two names, guys, Twilio and Rita. So Twilio, we're 45.39 a share. Gotta go back down here. Let's get one more level lower here. Oh, wow, are we out of all-time lows? Nice, okay. Oh, yeah, 41. There it is. Okay. I'll move that up in a second. Oh, we're not. Oh, yeah, we will be able to see it. No, I guess not. Okay, so 46.98 pivot to the downside today. Level holds 44.81. Or unable to hold, sorry, 44.81 to 42.78, in my opinion. 68. Able to hold, look for a push back towards 49.38 to 51.07 on the upside. Overall on Twilio, going to be leading bearish neutral, looking for continuation lower today if the pivot point is unable to hold. That's Twilio. Let's take a look at Rita. Things been steadily grinding higher until earnings. It's not a huge pullback by any means, but certainly is one. All right, let's take a look at this intraday. Pivot to the downside today, 93.64 levels able to hold, 96.64, 99.16. Unable to hold, 89.86 to 84.51 on the downside, leading bearish neutral. looking for a continuation lower if that pivot point is unable to hold. All right, last two guys, CELH and UPSD. CELH gapping up on earnings. Pretty nice move. Okay, should be fine. Just means it's gonna have some room here. Pivot to the upside today, guys. 116.07 levels able to hold. 119.63, 122.48, unable to hold. 112.27, 108.09 downside leaning bullish. We're looking for a continuation push to the upside today if this pivot point's able to hold. So that's CELH. Let's take a look at UPSD. I didn't even go high enough. Okay. Thought I did. Should be good. Impressive move after earnings then. All right, pivot to the upside today. 1989 level holds 2061, 2124. Then it does have towards 2351. Unable to hold 1906, 1830 on the downside. Overall, going to be leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. So that is CELH and that is UPST. All right, let's take a look at the spine of the Fang. So market obviously looking pretty decent here. It's at 1430. Okay, so 415, 40. Okay. I want to see all right. Well, 413.69 pivot to the upside today, level holds 415.36 to 417.65, unable to hold 411.63, 410.39 on the downside. Overall, going to be leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. So we'll see what happens in regards to the SPY. It does need to hold that level. It did get back above the interflag range break to the upside on the daily chart, but it has not confirmed yet. But it is definitely looking bullish at the moment. Let's take a look at Apple. Okay. Apple pivot to the upside today, 172.45. Level holds 174.28. unable to hold 169.93, 168.37 on the downside, leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continued push to the upside today if that pivot point's able to hold. That is Apple. Let's take a look at Amazon. Pivot 106.03, level holds 108.96, 112.54, unable to hold 103.58, leaning bullish neutral there. Let's see what happens in that range. Screenshot that, yeah, okay, good. All right, Netflix, guys, take a look at this. $334.98 pivot in the upside today. Level hold 339.32, 329.54. Unable to hold 323.28 downside. Leaning bullish neutral in that regard there. And last but not least, guys, let's take a look at well, Meta and Google first. Last but not least, still got a couple more to go. Netflix. All right, Google or Meta, sorry. But you can see the flag on Meta's daily chart. Finally looking pretty decent. Meta 235.97 pivot to the upside today. Levels able to hold. We have room towards 240.43 to 240.49. Unable to hold 232.98 or 88, sorry, to 229.96 downside, leaning bullish neutral there. Let's take a screenshot of that one. And then last but not least, Google here on the individual names. Google 108.42, level holds 110.34, unable to hold 106.11 downside, leaning bullish neutral. Oopsies. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the VIX Qs and IWM real quick. And then I'll pass it over. Okay. $16.80 pivot on VIX. Levels unable to hold 15.89. Able to hold 17.77 to the 18.54. We were looking yesterday how the VIX did break back below all the EMA support on the daily and had room to retest that inverted head and shoulders on the downside. Inverse, I should say, head and shoulders. So it looks like it's going to potentially get there today. QQQs. All right, 321.85 level hold, 323.65. unable to hold through 2037. Looks like it's going to test the top end of the range. We'll see if it breaks it today. And then last but not least, guys, let's take a look at the SPX. I like to pop this up on the daily chart because it's easier to see. There we go. So that's at interflag range break. It's at 41.48, which will be the pivot today. Level holds 41.68, 41.90. Unable to hold 41.20, 41.01 downside. So depending upon if that range holds, guys, probably only go on one side of the a credit spread today on the SPX, and I probably will not put a condor on. That's SPX. Anyways, guys, that's the SPY, that's the FANG, was the individual names that we're looking at today. Going to go ahead, pass it over to South Beach while I type that pre-market action plan up. And then we'll do a quick little recap for the open. South Beach, if you're ready, she's all yours for now, my friend.
Okay, good morning, guys. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let's look at the bond market first, as we always do. See what's doing there. Okay, so the 10 years down 0.06 at 460, 346. All right, I mean, not a giant move, below the 3.5 we've been seeing, right? But basically, these things are really starting to trade in a very tight level, right? The 6-month is down marginally, 514. So the short end of the curve, the numbers are staying high, in a large part probably because of this budget situation that's going on. People are just waiting to see before they buy them. And on the 2-year, we have that down a little bit, but the spread is 49. So we had seen a spread of over 1. This is we've seen it at 0.3. So this is like middle to lower end of recent levels. Looking over in London, rates are marginally down, insignificantly down, 0.01, 0.02, like that. 10 years, 383, flat curve, etc. Germany, same way, down marginally on their yields. Inflation fears are clearly picking up. And that's Europe, and that's the bond market. What's weird with 10-year in Japan is still below half, so that's that. Okay, let's look at commodities. Barclays cut their oil forecast based on the probability of a recession today. It's still below 80, so I maintain a bearish bent on these things until that'll change. All right. Natural gas is like flatlined at the 220 level, so not moving much there. Metals, we got gold up, probably dollar down on lower interest rates. And then we have the agricultural commodities, which are pretty much boring. Lumber's trading on its lows, wheat flirting with its lows, like that. Currency-wise, dollars down against North America, down against the yen, down against Chinese currency, but just a tinge, and down against the euro and the pound. Crypto, we got Bitcoin, dollar down, Bitcoin up, back to normal. 1.5 on Bitcoin, Ethereum's 1.5, Solana, same thing. And foreign markets, FTSE's dead flat, DAX, dead flat, CAC, dead flat. And then when I say dead flat, one's up by 2, the other's up by 2, the other's down by 1. So really no movement, Zippo. Asia, pretty quiet there as well. Nikkei's down 0.5%. China's down a little bit, a smidge, and Hong Kong's down 0.5. Let's see what Taiwan is down 0.5%. And that's your backdrop, okay? S&Ps, Qs, chart-wise, they still look pretty good to me. All right, no reason to panic. They're holding in. There's not a lot of volatility. That's one observation. They haven't been able to get through the 50-week. That's another observation, but they're holding the EMA support. That's on the SPYs. Qs, going to be pretty much the same. Can't get through the 50-week. Charts are pretty good. The weekly is even better. And all signs point to a flattish or up market. Okay, that's how the technical setup on those two for me anyway. Okay. Getting to the banks and Fed, pretty quiet today. No Fed governors speaking. I think these guys are really in a wait and see to see what happens with the budget impasse. Quite frankly, we'll see how that goes. We had the CPI numbers come out practically on the nose, right? Month over month 0.4, expecting 0.4. Year over year 4.9 versus 5. The core came in right on in line. You know, these numbers are just right, you know, as expectations were. 4.4, then year over year 5.5 versus 5.5. You know, basically right on the nose. Okay, and now you see that the futures pop. I guess people are not fully invested. Number one, number two. You know, the worst isn't here, so buy equities. I guess I don't know. I think mostly underinvestment, quite frankly, is what causing the rally. What else do we have? We have China and Russia. We'll talk about them in a minute. We have crypto, we discussed. We have Mr. Market yesterday. It was another one of those choppy days, guys, you know. Dow was barely down 50 points. SPYs were down 17. It got hit at the very end of the day. By and large, they were trading in a very tight range all day. And there was no real group on the upside worth talking about. On the downside, HMOs, drugs, EV, solar, and semis were the weak groups. Everything else was kind of mixed. And group trading hasn't really been flying here because we haven't had enough volatility. All right, so we'll see how that goes. See, the banks are having a nice morning. That's interesting, right? Yeah, that's good to know. So, okay, so what do we have today? All right, so we have this budget impasse, and McCarthy spoke with Biden yesterday, and they're both saying no progress made. White House wants no strings attached and a budget approval. I don't know what planet this guy's living on, but that's not how it works. So unless he gets down to some serious business, then he's holding everybody hostage, because never do they write a guy a blank check. Okay, this is Washington. You give me this, I'll give you that. You give me that, I'll give you this. That's the way it works. So to sit there high on his hog to say no strings attached, I mean, the guy's smoking heroin. All right, so when he wants to get down to business, that's when the budget impasse will be fixed. I'm sure they know what they're willing to give. I don't know when they're going to do it. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'll tell you this, I'll be shocked if there's not an 11th hour Hail Mary like there is every stinking time, and they're jerking everybody around, trying to win their way, and they can't. So make a freaking deal, and let's move on. That's the bottom line. I mean, Washington is a cesspool of scum. Okay, these guys lie, steal, and cheat. You had two guys on TV yesterday, right? You had Biden's Democrats speak, you had the Republicans speak, and both parties speak half truths. They tell you what they want to hear, how they see it, so on and so forth, and they're just jerking everybody around. Okay, and they're both, one is as guilty as the next. So that's the way politics work in this country. It's hard to watch, but that's the game. Better than most places. So let's move on. Okay. What else do we have? Stanley Druckenmiller, who used to run Soros Fund. The guy's a stud. He now runs a family office called Duquesne. He hasn't lost money in like forever. And so what's this guy saying? Let's see. He's saying that he likes AI a lot. He's playing it through Microsoft and NVIDIA. He thinks that we're going to get, in all likelihood, a hard landing like 01 and 02. And he thinks stock market returns over the next decade will be a dead decade, meaning really not a big change. He thinks most of the price appreciation will come in Microsoft and Nevada. He's waiting for the bubble to burst as far as tech. And when it does, you tend to get better returns. So I guess he's saying he thinks tech gets hit, goes lower, he scoops it up and they end the decade where they started. It sounds like that's his game, except with the exception of AI, which he thinks can be as big as the internet. This guy has a history of changing his mind, but he is very good. All right, so it's worth listening to and not worth following, is the way I see it. All right, maybe his AI ideas are good. So the market's up what, what is it, 1.2 trillion? No, 2.5 trillion since it rallied, and 700 billion of it is from AI stocks. So a really good representation of most of the strength, or what they would call AI type names, like Nevada's up 96% from the lows. So that's a big part of it, I would assume. All right. Lost decade. That kind of has to marinate a little bit. Mortgage demand surged after Fed kind of indicated they may pause here. So they had a big demand for mortgages. I think getting a mortgage is going to be a lot more difficult with these new rules and regs and the tightness of the credit market vis-a-vis the problems in regional banks as of late. So we'll see. I think you're going to have an extra special, balance sheet if you're going to get money from these guys. You can't have any fuddy-duddy. So I think they're only going to give money to the best of the best, and that's that. Let's see, Twitter. You see that Tucker Carlson is going to do a show from Twitter. I think that's a big feather in their cap. A couple of stocks went down on that. I'll get to those later. But I think that's, I don't know what they're paying them. I'm sure quite a bit. I guess that, you remember when, what's his name, went to Sirius, Howard Stern? It feels like kind of the same kind of thing. They're trying to get a draw. I don't know if Tucker Carlson is big enough, but maybe he is. I don't listen to him, but whatever. Trump lost that case, that sexual, whatever the case that was in New York. He had to pay the gal $5 million. And we'll just leave that as it is. Okay. I'm sure everybody's got a big opinion on that. TikTok delays opening US shopping platform. They were supposed to do that. Berkshire is cutting their stake in EV maker Boyd. They've been in this one for a really long time. And the comments were that they don't want to compete with Elon Musk. Okay. I think they don't want to be in Chinese stocks, quite frankly. Okay, that's why they got out of Taiwan Semi, even though that's not a Chinese stock. They're heavily influenced by them, and you know the situation. So we'll see. Let's see. Bank cut their oil price forecast, which I told you. China's going through this national security crackdown. Kind of ironic there. And that George Santos, he's from the district actually that I live in New York. He is being indicted on federal charges. The guy made up his resume. You know this character. And then they found out. Yeah, whatever. That's the story with that. Okay. Okay. CHSN, that thing is moving, huh? All right, what else we got today? So we had a bunch of earnings. We're coming, to a lot of the heavy lifting. After this, I think the earnings kind of slow down a little bit. This is a lot of names, but not big names. But let's see what we have. All right, we had this Celsius. They make that drink. That stock's up a bunch. Rivian is up a bone. They had a good quarter. You know what's interesting? This upstart is knocks the cover off the ball, right? They're in the same business as a firm. And the firm can't get arrested. And the funny thing is that, I don't know, Kramer had this guy, whatever his name is, from a firm. He's had him on his show a bunch of times, basically licking his ass. And this guy is running a company, same as the other one, Lifkin, that's the guy's name. And he falls flat. Which is, when you see two like companies and one hits the ball out of the park and one swings and misses, it's a sign. All right. So Upstart was good. Exact Sciences was good. LI, good there. Stocks up a fair amount. Akamai was good. EA, DRTT. ISIG, this LegalZoom, I think someone mentioned it yesterday, that's up. CARG, EVRI, Ring had a good quarter. Okay, they are usually all over the place. GH was good, DUOL. Oscar was decent. Diode. Anything else? That's, there's more, but I think that's CARG. Those are the ones that kind of were at the top of the list because of market cap. So I grabbed those. Syneos, SYNH, a company I'm very familiar with, is being sold at $43 a share to a group of private equity, 3 guys led by Elliott. Okay, this is the second go around for these guys. They've been taken, this is the second time they're going private in probably 6 years, 7 years, maybe 10 years. So same game, different players. Last time it was 2 different guys. It was Texas, whatever, and the TPG and Apollo, I think. Okay, moving on. Momentum, STSS. I almost bought that yesterday. I don't know why I didn't, because of the number I probably passed. UFAB was good. ADXM got good PR. CTIC is being acquired at $9.10. Stock closed at $4.89. I think I was in this at $1. Unfortunately, I'm no longer in it. Google is updating some AI stuff, and that stock's up a tinge on that. On the softer side, okay, you have this good RX, okay, good product, crappy company. Bros missed. Airbnb, this one really surprised me because the stock action has been really, really good. Look at what it did yesterday and the day before. Broke out of a trading range, looked like it was ready to go on really good volume, and you come in and you shit the bed. And that's my whole point, guys, about not taking stocks into earnings on a trading basis. You just don't know. And the tape doesn't know. And people don't know. And you're just rolling the dice. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not in the business of rolling the dice. I'm in the business of an edge. And I have no edge in earnings. Unless, of course, you're invested in the stock whereby you'd have no choice. Okay? So Airbnb, that's that. Twilo, Gabilo, these guys always seem to miss. AMPL, Teva's bad. They always miss. Roblox was missing. The stock, they said they missed. The stock was down and now it's up. So go figure. All right. Affirm we discussed. Rockwell, Retta, CUTL had a miss and a CEO step down. That's not good. COHR was a miss. NVTA. HCAT, JXN, BBAI, which looked good during the day, down a little bit there. EBS, which seems to always miss. Rockwell's got a situation, they're being investigated about their, I don't know, they have a Chinese location or something like that they're looking at. This RUM and Fox H are down on the Tucker Carlson deal. Blue looks like they're going to do a money raise. And that's kind of it. As far as the odds of an increase next go around by the Fed, 84% are saying no hike and 16% are saying a quarter. That's the highest we've seen. Okay, I think that'll probably come down now that the CPI is out, but that was prior to the CPI. Okay, we have Disney tonight, if I'm not mistaken, guys. TTD, letter U. Hood, Beyond Meat, Mara, Crane, which is that spinoff stock that I've been playing. And mañana, before the opening, we have JD, Yeti, which has been acting really well. No indication of how it's going to do with earnings. Obviously, we know that from Airbnb. And FVRR. Okay, so look, we've seen better strength in these high PE tech names because interest rates are kind of like out of that scary range, right? So that's been an area of strength. The Qs have acted better than the SPYs. I think that continues. I think if people want to get exposure to the market, they're going to be selling these consumer non-durables and drug stocks and utilities and stuff like that and increase the beta a little bit. So I think that'll probably show well for these high PE tech stocks and FANG stocks. All right. I don't buy markets up 38 points ever, or 38 handles. I sit and wait. My first thing is try to fade it. If I don't see the ability to fade it, I'll just hang out and wait for a little digestion and see what happens next. I mean, I'll go for, and if I do go for stocks, I'll go for the ones that have had really good strength, like the Snow of the world, the Datadogs, those kind of names, which have shown a lot of strength. That's why I think the money will go. Okay, the Metas, the Amazons, like that. All right. Have no interest in buying these those the safety stocks unless the market takes a dump. And right now, it just doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Okay, so that's how I'm trading it, and we'll see how it plays out. All right, let's have a good day. You know, let the market tell you what to do. Don't you tell the market what to do, and it'll work out just fine. All right, Spartan, it's all yours.
All righty, thank you, Salt Beach. Guys, morning, what's going on? Just give me 1 sec here. Just helping someone pop into chat, and then we'll continue to go as we do. All right, guys, I'll get back to that in a little bit. All right, let's kind of just get right into it. So if you guys are new to chat and haven't already done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're going to pop in a chat. It's going to look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in, click on this disclaimer section, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section and scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, you're link to the disclaimer as well as this bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand both. In regards to risk reward, guys, most important ratio in trading. So definitely worth checking out, in my opinion there. Continue to scroll down. We have the summary for how this chat works, breaks all the channels work on the left-hand side, so you can properly navigate the chat throughout the day. Important in order to be looking. Continue to scroll down. How to read alerts on the options equity side. Pretty straightforward in that regard. Options rules that we use for the options ideas every single day right there. Same with the SPX rules that we use every single day right there as well. Continue to scroll down. Any of a small account less than 10K, break it down. If you do have a smaller account less than 10K, here's some rules, information, discipline, in our opinion, that could potentially help you. How to pick ideas from an options directory perspective, which basically breaks down how to overlay your own criteria on top of the ideas. So you're left with only things that do make sense for you and your account. And then lastly, high conviction small account areas, which I've been posting credit spreads in there for you guys to have high probability income generation plays on the SPX that, like I said, you only need 1 or 2 and you can make what the sub is every single day if you wanted to. Pre-market tickers on watch. What we got going on today? So if you guys are watching the YouTube stream, you can simply just pause it and read this right here. You have the options ideas right below that, just because Beth is out for the rest of the week. So I just was doing the option stuff as well. There's Twilio and Rita, and then there is Tesla and Airbnb. All right, so what are the names we're looking at today, guys? Tesla, Airbnb, Twilio, Rita, CLH, and then UPST. So Tesla gapping up the market. Airbnb, Twilio, Rita gapping down on earnings. CLH, CELH gapping up on earnings, and same with UPST. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint. Intraday, first two we're looking at today, guys, gonna be that Tesla and Airbnb. Let's rip through those charts. So Tesla, guys, pivot to the upside today is going to be the 168.01 level holds, 172.30, 175.98. Unable to hold 164.10 to 159.37 on the downside. Leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push higher today if that pivot point's able to hold. Airbnb 106.51 level holds, 111.46, 115.43. Unable to hold 103.80 to 100.11 on the downside. Leaning bullish neutral there, looking for a continuation push higher. Next two names we're looking at today, guys, going to be that what was that? Twilio and Rita. So Twilio gapping down there. 46.98, unable to hold 44.81 to 42.68, able to hold 49.38, 51.07, leaning bearish neutral in my opinion. I'm looking for a continuation lower. Rita pivot to the downside today, 93.64, unable to hold 89.86, 84.51, able to hold 96.64, 99.16 on the upside, leaning bearish on that name as well. And then the last but not least, guys, let's take a look at the CELH and UPST. CELH pivot to the upside today is going to be the 116.07, level holds 119.63, 122.48, unable to hold 112.27, 108.09, leaning bullish neutral there, looking for a continuation push higher. UPSD pivot upside today is going to be 1982, level holds 2061, 2194, unable to hold 1906, 1830 downside, and leaning bullish neutral there. Let's take a look at the SPY, the FANG, and the Qs, VIX, all that good stuff. So market, guys, right now 413.69 pivot. I'm going to type this out as I usually do. So give me one sec to just pop that into chat. There we go. Okay. So SPY 413.69 pivots to the upside today, in my opinion. This level holds room higher into the 415.36 resistance breaks. We see the 417.65 tested. Pivot unable holds. Room lower into the 411.63 support breaks. We see the 410.39 tested. Leaning bullish neutral. Only if the pivot can hold. That's gonna be the big level. It's really hard to play gap ups like this, guys, in the market when you're playing the SPX. But we'll see if we get a gap and go today. If it's going to be any day, it's going to be a day like today where CPI comes out. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Let's take a look at the rest of the FANG here. Apple pivot to the upside today, 172.45, level holds 174.28, unable to hold 170.99 to 169.93 downside, leaning on the bullish neutral side there today. Amazon 106.03, level holds 108.96, 112.54, unable to hold 103.58 downside, leaning bullish neutral there as well. Let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix pivot to the upside today. 334.98, level holds 339.92, unable to hold 329.54, leaning bullish neutral there as well. Meta pivot to the upside today, in my opinion. 235.97, level holds 240.43, 244.89, unable to hold 232.88, 229.96, leaning bullish neutral there as well, in my opinion. And then last but not least, guys, Google 108.42 pivot, levels able to hold 110.34, unable to hold 106.11 downside, leaning bullish neutral. All right, let's take, if the pivot can hold, that's right. Let's take a look at the VIX Qs IWM. VIX pivot 1680 to the downside, unable to hold 1589, 1513, able to hold 1777, 1854. The QQQs upside pivot is going to be 321.85, level holds 323.80. Sorry, 323.65. Unable to hold 320.37. So obviously above that 323.65 level. Next resistance is going to be then 326.47 looks like. And then let's take a look at the last but not least, guys, the SPX 41.48 pivot. Levels able to hold 41.68, 41.90, unable to hold 41.21 to 41.01 on the downside. So we'll see what happens, guys. Should be an interesting one. Market is doing its thing right now. We'll see whether or not we can get continuation out the gate. And yeah, kind of go from there. Anyways, guys, that's it. Thanks for joining us on the YouTube stream. We do this every single day. You guys can pop into the Discord and the Zoom stream if you would like. Go to spartantrading.com. You can sign up there. Thanks for watching, my friends, and have a good one. Alrighty.